this new moon is really about opening up your awareness and bringing the you back into your life because sometimes we get lost in all the things that we're doing and we forget that ultimately we're here to be happy. We're here to live a life that we feel inspired and empowered to be in. Hi, I hope you're doing well. I'm back again today to talk about the new moon happening. It's going to be happening on August 4th, and it'll be happening at 12 degrees Leo. I think that the one thing that I can say about this new moon is it is a really great lead up to Mercury retrograde that's going to be happening in just 2 days from the actual new moon, or even less than 2 days. So it is kind of like at the end of a cycle as well, because if we look at the quarter of civilization that we've been sort of going through up until now, the ending or the last gate of that quarter is the gate 33. And this new moon is happening right in the gate 33 line 6, which is sort of like the very, very end of the quarter before it moves into the gate 7. And that will be the quarter of duality, which is all about partnerships. And it's sort of connections that bring you forward in your life. So now we're getting to the end of it. And the gate 33 is not only the end of this particular quarter, but it's also the end of a cycle when you look at the experiential way or abstract energy. So it's bringing a lot of cyclical energy and a lot of ending energy. And if you look at this new moon and then even the full moon that we're going to have later on in the month, there is that connection of this gate 29 is going to be in it, which is in this energy as well, which is in this new moon as well. And it's really pointing a finger at cyclical energy. And this is talking about the ending of a cycle, which is a gate 33, and what happens when we end cycles. What happens when you've been on a long journey or even a short journey and you wanted to get something or to succeed in something. You had a goal, a dream, an aspiration of some sort, and you finally get to that moment where you achieve it. And really the only thing we have left after that culmination is, yes, you might have had some rewards or gifts or things that sort of worked out in your favor, and maybe it didn't, because that's the nature of experiential energy and life in general. But ultimately, the most important thing is, what did you gain from that cyclical experience? And what memories do you have sort of in your tool chest that you can use for another day? Because at the end of all life journeys, the only thing that we really have is our memories. And that is key, really key with the gate 33, which really talks about this idea of memories and that being very important in our lives, because it is only in sitting with ourselves in our process and reflecting on what actually happened that we truly get a full picture. If you go through an experience and you don't sort of take time to reflect on what happened, a lot of times you're moving on to something else, but you haven't sort of closed that cycle because you really haven't gained the memories or sort of put them in your memory bank. And this is what the gate 33 is really talking about. It is in the sixth line. So again, it is the end of a process. And not only that, we have the sun and the moon that are exalted in the gate 33, which really brings this sort of leaning to one side of the energy. And in this case, it is very dualistic. Every exaltation and detriment are dualistic anyhow, but this particular one is very dualistic in that it is like you let go of something that no longer serves you, or an end has come and you can see that the end has come, or you hold on. And when we have Chiron still in the gate 42, this really does talk about working through energy that can be wounding, or it can be something that is emotionally that you have an emotional connection to, but yet you know that this is the end of the process. So we have that working in this energy within the new moon. But it's also talking about this idea that with the exaltation of the sun and the moon, that we are looking at a perspective of being able to see what no longer works in your life and being able to let it go. And it is talking about the sense of retreat, going into your own space and being on your own, which a lot of times when we get into Mercury retrograde, there is a slowing of the process, a slowing of life. Things are not moving as fast as they do. And we know that all life events, everything in our life, it's always about sort of moving forward, and then it is about sometimes pausing and just waiting for the next thing sort of to show up in your reality, the new cycle to begin. And as they always say, there's always a beginning in every ending. And so when you are letting go of things, you are making space for new things to come into your life. Now, while the gate 19 is generally a sensitive gate that sort of has this theme of need to sort of be with other people or to connect with other people. When we get to the sixth line, as most six lines are, it really is this idea of being in your own space and being okay being in your own space, because you know that when the time is right, life will come knocking on your door again and you will step back out into the world. And so this is what the gate 19 line 6 is really bringing, this idea of I can feel comfortable in my own space. I can be alone, knowing that I'm not missing anything. And I think that this would be the complete opposite of FOMO, or fear of missing out on something, which a lot of people have, in that you know that you won't miss out on anything that is part of your true trajectory in life, that is part of your life, that you are put on this earth to do, the part of your life purpose. So this is saying that when the time is right, you will go back out into the world and you will do what you want to do. And so we have this energy of the sun, the earth, and the moon saying, okay, just take a step back, relax, be in your own space, and, reflect on where you've been. Now, on the other side of the perspective, we have Jupiter and Venus, and they're also in abstract energy. Jupiter is in the gate 35, line 4, and Venus is in the gate 29, line 6. And in many ways, they're bringing the opposite theme to what the sun and the moon and the earth are bringing, which is, slow down, sort of see where you've been and sort of plan for the future. What these two energies are bringing is this: Jupiter likes to expand things. And when we look at Jupiter and also Venus, we are looking at potentially spirituality, education, higher education. It could be things related to how you make your abundance. It could be related to relationships, careers, all those types of things. So we're looking, we could be looking at these things, but if you really want to know where this is going to influence your life most, or potentially more, would be to look at your astrology chart and see what houses this new moon's going to be in. But with Jupiter here, there's this level of expansion, and it is this expanding no matter what. And yes, it is a benefit, as I usually say, and so is Venus. So two positive planets, but they also have this perspective of, when is enough enough? And that is a question that, they're not really talking about. So we look at Jupiter in the gate 35, line 4, which is saying progress. And progress at all costs. In other words, you just want to move forward. You just want to keep going. And then you look at the perspective of, you've come so far, right? And maybe things aren't working out the way you want them to. And you're sort of looking down the line and you're thinking, I don't think this is going to work out the way I want it to. I don't think it's going to work out at all. And I don't know if I'm even going to get the rewards. And maybe that is the truth. That's a question that we sometimes have to ask ourselves. Is it worth putting more energy into whatever this is, this project, this relationship, this career, whatever, this educational program, the spiritual practice? Is it worthwhile putting more energy into it? Or have I sort of hit that limit where that all signs are saying that maybe I've come to the end, and maybe it's better to release it, to let go, gate 33, line 6, let go of something that no longer serves me, let go of something that is not really for me. And even though when I began, I thought this was what I wanted, I was really sure this was what I wanted. But, as life unfolds, this is how it all can be, where you can be in even a relationship, and you think in the beginning that you want all the things that sort of are there for the taking in that relationship. Maybe you want to have something very specific, and it seems as though this is what you're gonna get. But then when you get in that position of getting that thing that you wanted, you think, well, maybe it isn't exactly what I wanted. Maybe I want more than that. Maybe I kept my dreams small, with this fear that maybe if I kept it small, I would actually achieve it. And if I do achieve it, then at least I've achieved something, as opposed to this idea of making your dreams a little bigger and really having a lot more wiggle room to not really know how it's going to work out, but imagining that maybe it will work out someday, and sort of being driven along the path. So right now, Jupiter is saying, you know, you need to get ahead, you need to push forward, you need to go, go, go. But the gate 33 is saying, is it the end for you? Is it any, do you need to put more investment in this, or is it no longer serving you? It's no longer part of something that you need to have in your life. Have you hit that limit? So maybe you're in a very lucrative job that pays you a lot of money, and yet you feel like you've checked all the boxes and there's really nothing more that you can get from it. So this is really talking about that. And then we have Venus in the 29 line six, and this is saying, you know, sometimes we're moving so fast that we don't really see where we are. And this talks about losing the awareness, losing this perspective of, okay, this is my life. Where am I going with it? Am I having fun still, or is it just about going through the motions, the process, doing the same thing over and again? And not really seeing anything other than I'm just moving, I'm just moving, I'm just moving. It's like you're on this continual treadmill of life with no destination, but you just feel like I just have to keep moving, and you don't really stop and say, okay, is this where I want to be moving forward? Or is there something else I want to be doing? And so there's this duality where we have Jupiter and Venus saying keep moving at all costs, but really there's no awareness in what's happening, or the perspective of the sun, moon, and the earth saying, okay, here you go, just sit with this for a little while, and maybe it is what you want to do, and if that's the case, then continue on. But this is a time to sort of pause and really have a look at where things are in your life, and where you want to go. And then we have Mars in the 16 line 5, and basically for the whole of this new moon we have a lot of fourth, fifth, and sixth lines, which really talks about connection with other people. And then we have the nose in the 17 and in the 18 in the line 5. And this is sort of talking about opinions and people saying, oh, you really should do A, B, and C, because if you don't do A and B and C, then this may not happen. And so a lot of opinions of people saying what you should and shouldn't do. And so this is really kind of testing your mettle to say, can I stand on my own authority? Can I do what feels correct for me? And see where it goes, and really not know where the future will bring us, because that is the nature of experiential energy. You never really know where you're going to go, only that you're going to go. And this is about being in the process. But if you never stop and reflect and sort of really look at your life and say, am I happy? Are there things that I want to do with my life that I'm holding myself back from doing because I feel like I have to do this, and this, and this because I've always done it this way? And I think that this is a big thing that a lot of us get into, this momentum, which is the 29 line six, is momentum of just continuing to do and persevering and saying and just continuing to persevere, but not necessarily really know anymore, and kind of losing the thread. And so this is where you're picking up the thread again if you want to, and deciding, okay, this is where I want to go. And it could be the exact same path you're on, but maybe you have a few changes you want to make, or it could be something brand new. And this new moon is sort of opening up your awareness to what feels good for you and how you want to move forward in your life. This is the perfect time to sort of sit in your own energy and to know that life will always pick you up and take you where it needs to go, no matter where you are. So if you never stop to see what else might be possible for your life, you might miss out on opportunities that are made just for you. With that said, I hope you have a wonderful new moon, and I will be back again soon. Until then, take care and bye for now.